What up, my friends? Welcome back to my channel. During my New Year's goals video, I told you guys that I wanted to come up with some type of a series that I was going to run on this channel. And one of the ones that we had discussed was doing 5 ingredients or less. And that's what I'm taking on in this video. I ended up coming up with 5 recipes that are 5 ingredients or less, and I decided to make it even better for you. I got it all done in 90 minutes, all 5 of them. They are all crock pot and freezer friendly, which are my favorite things. So in this video, I make 2 of them in the crock pot and then save 3 of them for later. What's awesome too is one of them I was actually able to double up, so I got 6 meals out of what you're gonna see in this video. And it all only took me one 90-minute session to set up all of those, and they're gonna be waiting for me in the freezer, and my future self is gonna be so happy about it. So in this video, we're gonna be taking on pork carnitas, we're gonna be doing Italian sausage and peppers. I also have a honey garlic chicken to share with you, and then we have beef and broccoli and also a steak fajita dish. What's amazing about these two is, like a lot of the cooking that I do, a lot of the ingredients overlap, so it makes it super easy for you to just set aside a 90-minute power session and get through all of these recipes. If you're new here, hi, how are you? How's the family? My name is Kate. Thank you so much for clicking on that thumbnail and giving me a chance. On this channel, I do a lot of recipe inspiration just like this video, so please feel free to check out the rest of my channel if you need help when meal planning. I also do grocery haul videos, so if you like seeing what's new at Costco, Trader Joe's, Sam's Club, I have plenty of that content as well. And if you end up enjoying the vibe, I would love it if you'd subscribe before you leave. Without further ado, let's dive into those recipes. All right, my friends, I'm about to take you along while I set aside 90 minutes to put together 5 ingredient recipes that can be cooked in the crock pot, Instant Pot, or stuck in the freezer to figure out how to cook later. All 5 of the recipes will be in the description box below, but I want to show you exactly how I tackled these to get dinner on the table for myself that night, lunch ready for the next day, and a bunch of meals waiting for future me to be grateful for in the freezer. First up, I decided to start on a 5 ingredient honey garlic chicken because this one didn't require any vegetable dicing, so that would be dinner on this day. This one did require some minced garlic, so I went ahead and took some peeled garlic I got at the store and ran it through my food processor to mince it and make it easier for myself across all of the recipes I was going to need it for. I was doubling the recipe, so in the crock pot, I poured half a cup of shoyu, aka soy sauce, 2/3 cup of honey, about 6 cloves of the minced garlic, a 1-pound package of baby carrots, and then 3 hefty, thick chicken breasts on top. I tossed all of that together to make sure it was all nice and coated, and then I set it to high. I think I also used some salt and pepper to season the chicken, but that's completely optional. It only took about 2 hours for the chicken to be fully cooked, so this was a total win. If you want to, you can also take it a step further with making a cornstarch slurry for yourself by mixing a tablespoon of cornstarch and some water to thicken up the sauce. I decided not to do that. This can just be served over rice or mixed vegetables for a complete meal. Recipe 1 done. Since that recipe was going, I made sure I had out all of the ingredients that I would need for the remaining 4, so it could be a nice dump and go type situation. Then I knew that there was a few overlapping ingredients for some of the other recipes, so I took a few minutes to get those prepped up. That just consisted of slicing up some onion, some bell pepper, chopping some broccoli, and I also zested and juiced a lime for myself and stuck everything to the side. Once that was done, I knew I wanted to get some steak fajitas going in a second crock pot because that was going to be lunch for the next day. Since everything was prepped, everything from here is truly just a dump and go moment. I just laid down about a half a cup of the onions and about a half a cup of the bell peppers. Then I laid a pound of skirt steak right on top of that. I seasoned both sides of the steak with some Kinder's chili cheese seasoning, but you can just use your favorite fajita or taco seasoning. I also added some salt and pepper, and then the zest and juice of a lime over everything. I covered that with more onion and bell pepper, and that only took about 3 hours to cook on high. I just sliced that up, and we served it with some tortillas, but you could also serve it over Spanish rice with some beans if you wanted for a full dinner. Next up, I moved on to placing the final 3 recipes in Ziploc bags for the freezer. These will all be thawed in the fridge the night before I need them, and then just simply tossed in the crock pot, but you could use Instant Pot if you wanted as well. First up, I did the sausage and peppers, which just meant putting about a cup of each sliced onion and sliced pepper in the bag. Then I added a 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes with probably a tablespoon or 2 of Mediterranean seasoning, but you could use Italian instead. And then I was doubling the recipe, so I did 2 pounds of Italian sausage in there. I stored that in the freezer with a pack of hoagie rolls for myself, so I would remember to eat them together because we're gonna be eating them like sub sandwiches, but you could also serve this over pasta or veggies when you go to eat it. Next up was a beef and broccoli. So in this one, I just put 1 pound of beef stew meat, a 1/4 cup of hoisin sauce, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 3 cloves of minced garlic, and then about 2 cups of the broccoli we had cut up for ourselves earlier. I zhuzhed that all up to make sure it was coated, and then I got that in the freezer. I'll probably serve this with some rice, but it would be great over lo mein as well. Last up, I had a big pork butt to work through, so I ended up making 2 bags of pork carnita bowl ingredients for myself. I had to cut the pork up quite a bit, and I trimmed off a good amount of the fat to get it to fit in the bags. And then in each bag, I also added a 15-ounce can of black beans that I had drained and rinsed. A cup of orange juice went in each bag as well, and then a tablespoon of taco seasoning in each and 3 cloves of minced garlic in each. This pork is super versatile. We've made it before. It can be used in burrito bowls or tortillas. You can make quesadillas with it. You can also use this to make some delicious Cuban sandwiches, which is a favorite of ours over here. And that's it. It just feels so good to have all of these meals prepped for those busy weeknights when what's for dinner seems like a much more complicated question than it is. All right, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today and giving me a piece of your day. It means the absolute world to me. I hope you're walking away with at least one recipe that saves you the stress and helps you get dinner on the table this week. I hope I delivered whatever you needed when you clicked on that thumbnail, and I hope you have a magical day. Bye.